Hello, my friends. How are you? I hope you're doing so well. My name is Mariah. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, welcome. If you have, a super extra warm welcome back to you. And today I am still continuing my Sophianic sermon series because I love it. I love it so much. And it's just what we need to hear, because I find a lot of stuff can be really abstract. You're supposed to do this thing, that thing, the other thing. And the one narrative that I found that kind of puts everything together, sweetly orders it, if you will, is the narrative, the Gnostic cosmology of the fallen goddess scenario as put together so beautifully by Mr. John Lamlash. Check out his book. Link will be in the description. His book is excellent. I do have it, it's just not in front of me. But it's a very academic approach. If you're looking for a lot of references to where the story comes from, definitely check out his book. I also wrote a little book, a guidebook to the goddess. It is, obviously he's definitely referenced in that book, but it's not exactly the same idea. It's definitely more brief. It's a little more playful. It's a little more getting to know the history of goddess worship, everything like that. So without further ado, the topic for today is, and if you'll excuse me, I don't AI my stuff. I pre-write everything. So if you are seeing me like kind of like down here, I have it pre-written on my iPad. So today's sermon is about living with the goddess. Now, let me preface this is that I was on a roll, doing these Sophianic sermons once a week, whatever, but I'm not somebody that is so, like, I have to listen to my own bodily cycles, okay? And when I had this idea, which, those ideas were just coming bam, 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 one week after another, I've been doing them as Twitter spaces. That's okay, and that's been fun, and I like to do that live. However, I just wanted to do this as a video, and I'll upload this video to Twitter as well. But I had the idea, and then I also had the inner knowing that it's going to take me longer than I want to get the video out. And some people will probably listen to that and be like, oh, that's just your head. That's just, you doubting yourself, whatever. And no, it was me listening to my internal compass that is the goddess, my inner Sophia, my inner wisdom. So I'm going to share how you can do that same thing and live with her as well, because this is living with the law of attraction. This is living with the law of assumption. This is all of that kind of stuff that people say are new age, but it's actually a very, very ancient practice to be able to so deeply reach and talk to your subconscious, and then also understand that that is the goddess within us who is providing our reality on the outside as well. Now, I know that sounds a little convoluted, very, it's kind of dense to really get into if you've never heard anything about it. So if you don't know anything about the goddess, make sure you check out my other videos. I do, I talk about her all the time. I wrote a book about her. So yeah, I'll link the best one down below. If you have no idea who the Gnostic goddess Sophia or Sophia is, I will make sure that's linked below so you can get to know her. However, I found that when people find my content, when they find my videos, it's because they already kind of have a peripheral understanding of the goddess, and they're looking to get to know her more deeply, or they already understood her name, or they might know Sophia, or something about the Gnostic goddess is kind of reaching out to them. So I wouldn't say I'm usually like the first thing that people find when looking up law of attraction, but I am one of the first people that, if you look up Sophia or Gnostic goddess Sophia online on YouTube specifically, you'll find me, because I've done so much on her, and I really do love living in such an intimate relationship with the goddess, who, if you've watched my other videos, is also planet Earth. Okay, that's why this is so effective. It's because I'm not just like woo woo making up another goddess that you have to follow and la la la. It's like, no, there's a lot of nuance to this story. It's the most beautiful story there ever was, I would say, is the creation of planet Earth, and Earth is the body of the goddess. So that is why everything is very, very meaningful. That is why reality is malleable. That's why we can talk to our planet and we can talk to reality and receive change and produce effect. Like, that's what witchcraft is. That's what manifestation is. That's what prayer is, actually. These are all one and the same thing, accessing this infinite intelligence that is available in every single moment. She has a name, she has a story, and the more that we can really identify that, and then once that is identified, like at the base level, then we can really choose to live with her. Okay, so I had to, and I would say I am somebody that lives with the goddess most of the time, but that doesn't mean I don't fall out of it, for sure. Like, real life gets in the way, and then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I have to do everything myself, and then she's like, pause, reflect, let's, bring more energy back into you, and then I start to understand, it's like, oh, wait, like, maybe this time I've literally just been dehydrated and felt anxious. So like, okay, let me take care of my body, and then I feel my intuition, and then I know I'm supported, and then my manifestations come, and like, okay. So anyways, the reason why this took me 3 weeks was because the main point that Sophia was making with me is that the goddess has cycles. And if you are going to intimately live with the goddess Sophia, she is going to require that you honor the natural ebb and flow of life. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't have what you want in, a quick turnaround time, because that is absolutely true. It definitely can happen, and I'm going to get to that with manifestation. However, it does mean that you, especially, my audience is mostly women, and if you're a man watching this, I'm sure you have women in your life. You have to honor those cycles of your natural productivity, your natural ebb and flow, so that you have the most amount of energy. Because if you are, for example, a woman and it's 2-3 days before your monthly bleed, and you are trying to do all these different things, and you're starting this project and you're trying to meet this deadline and la 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 la, like, I know that we can't always control that because of work. But if you have to do all that and then you're still like, okay, I need to run 5K a day. I'm talking to my own experience, by the way. I need to run 5K a day. I need to go. I need to do this project and that project and yada, yada. Like, I'm going to hit the fucking wall, and the work that I produce is not going to be very good. And I am going to get some burnout, and I might even hit total exhaustion, not be able to do anything for a while. But if you follow your cycles like nature follows her cycles, like the goddess follows her cycles, then not only are you proclaiming that you have a deep trust in those cycles, and therefore a deep trust in the goddess, in nature, you also, like, you just love yourself more. When you can really rest and recuperate and come back and be like, okay, yes, now I'm ready. That's when you are magnetic to the true opportunities, and I'll even say, as an example, like the last video I posted, the last Sophianic sermon I posted, I was not feeling it. I was pushing through it. It's had the least amount of views, and I'm going to say it, I look fucking tired, and I just got fucking run over by a bus. Like, you might not agree with me, but I can see the bags in my eyes. I hope in this video I don't have, I don't look really tired, but like in that last video, for me, for my standards, I looked really tired because I was pushing through my natural intuition and how, maybe I should have just done something not on camera. Anyways, so it was after that video that I was like, okay, these are the things as a Gnostic we should be doing, which I still agree with. I think, the video transcends how I personally feel, how I look, but it's still, especially for women, it's a reflection of your own magnetism. And baby girl, you're not going to be magnetic every single day of the month. It's just not how it happens, you know. In especially where I live in Canada, we experience 4 seasons. Every season is different. You know, women, we have 4 different weeks out of the month where we experience different emotions, and we need to honor that so that our energy is magnetic, so that we can get what we want. Okay, so that was a longer way to say that the past 3 weeks I've been doing a lot of energy work, bringing my energy back into myself. I've been doing some ritual work, all of these things that are very, like, kind of, I want to call it like seed vibes, you know, where you're like kind of cocooned, you know, like a butterfly, like you're cocooned, you're doing the inner work, doing energy work, so that when that time comes when you're feeling more productive, you know, a couple weeks later, you can actually bloom and you've learned something and you can give something, and you're giving from a place of overflow, not from a place of, oh my God, if I don't do this thing, then I'm not going to succeed, even though I really just want to rest and recuperate and do introvert work. You know, we gotta, so this was the number 1 lesson that brought me, well, this was like the assisted lesson, let's call it. This was like the lesson that brought me to scoring the goal with what I learned with living with the goddess. So allow me to continue. So, where was I? I did post a simple energy clearing technique that I've been doing. That is up on my channel. It's like, I don't know, it's a short video. It's only 6 minutes ish. And, yeah, that's the basic practice I do every single night, or whenever I'm feeling like I need an energy refresh throughout the day. You need to consciously be practicing that, because otherwise your energy field is probably just full of junk from your own brain, from other people's projections onto you, from your family line, all these things. You can clear them out fairly easily. You might have to deal with some inner work when you're doing that, but that's okay, because that's what you have to do to clear those blockages. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. So this video is for you if you're like me and you need to know the why. That is my biggest thing, is I'm always like, yeah, okay, whatever, but it doesn't really stick in my mind unless I know why, which I think is how I've made it so far in understanding the goddess beyond the law of attraction and receiving what I want, because I've already done that. So I'm like, okay, why is this working? What's going on here? So I had like these past 3 weeks, and I've had similar realizations before, but it's never really hit home for me. And I had to really reconcile the law of assumption, which is, if you've never heard of that, it's very similar to law of attraction. Law of assumption is essentially just assuming that you already have it. Attraction is, you know, a little bit more, it's a little less direct. Okay. But it's basically the same thing. But law of assumption is a little more popular these days, just from other YouTubers and, you know, people on TikTok and stuff like that. Kind of more the younger generations are into law of assumption, but I like the way they word things. I've watched Sammy Ingram's videos before. I really like her. I love her attitude. She is like no bullshit. And I had to take this time to reconcile the law of assumption with working with the goddess and doing the things that she's telling me to do, like certain rituals or spell works or energy clearings. Okay. So I had to really reconcile those two things and be like, because I know that manifestation is real. I've manifested a lot of things, and sorry about this table. I will get to that a little bit more too. But something that really stood out to me was Sammy Ingram's, one of these videos. I don't remember if it was her analogy or whatever, but the analogy that really stuck with me was that she said, you know, you don't ask your printer to print something and then you go to the printer and you make sure that it's, you know, are you sure you're going to print? Are you sure you're going to print? Are you going to print something so fucked up that I didn't ask for? Blah, 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 blah. You know, obviously you can have ink glitches and shit like that. But that aside, you don't print something and then go to the printer and be like, are you sure I can have this? Are you sure? La, la, la. Like you've already printed it and it's going to come out exactly like you asked because that's what you wanted to print. And I was like, wait, like that actually makes sense with the printer being your subconscious mind. And I was like, okay, that is why subliminals work. That is why affirmations work. And in my practice and in my mind, I was like, that subconscious is the goddess, is your inner wisdom, is your inner guide. So when you are asking or repeating an affirmation that you want to be true, okay, you don't go to the goddess and be like, hey, did you understand me? Hey, did you get that? Hey, are you going to really fuck it up? Hey, are you like, are you really going to give it to me? All those things. And, you know, I say these things because this is what goes through my mind, right? Like I have had tons of experience in doubting the goddess and being like, okay, well, you know, this is what I want to experience. Are you sure you can handle it? Are you sure you got this, baby girl? Like, no, why do I do that? You know? And that's from a deep lack of trust that I'm working on. But these are the things where when you find those little nuggets of information of, I don't trust, or I don't think I'm worthy, or I don't deserve it, or somebody like me can't have that. All of those things are like little nuggets of information for you to dive into so that you can release whatever whatever caused that feeling in the first place. You know, it's getting to the root and being like, wait, okay, so just because that was my experience doesn't mean it is the only experience. And what is supporting me now, planet Earth, the goddess, has a lot more power than my parents do or did. So I can trust that she will deliver because she's delivering my reality to me right now as exactly the way that I think it. Okay. And this is really the crux, and this is also why I really like Sammy Ingram's teaching so much. And just, I know they're not original to her, but the way that she delivers it is just, it's perfect. And if you don't want to hear any of the spirituality stuff, just, you know, skip this, go to Sammy Ingram. And, but the reality that you're experiencing now is the one that you're repeating to yourself in your head. Okay, whatever it is you're thinking a lot is what that printer is printing out in your your reality. And the twist here is that printer, your subconscious mind, is your inner wisdom, is the inner Sophia. Okay, so when you connect with Sophia, when you connect with nature, when you connect with the deity of your choice, I prefer working straight up with goddesses because then you're not really getting into a bunch of trickster shit, which you could be with male deities, not all the time, obviously not all the time. But anyways, I prefer, if you've never worked with deities before, just go straight to Earth, straight to Gaia. She is the source of our life in every single moment and is feeding reality back to us. So that doesn't just mean that she has or that she wants control over you every single moment. No, this is why we have to choose the thoughts that we're thinking all the time so that she feeds that back to us. Okay? You have agency. I have agency. We are human beings. We are observers. I've mentioned this. I think I mentioned this in one of my serious, like, star system videos, that the human operating system is essentially the prime operative of reality, because we are the ones observing what becomes true. And it's as if we can choose to not be in this reality if we don't want, which is why there's so much subliminal messaging to make us believe that we have to outsource all of our power, and everything that we want has to be outsourced or told to us by somebody else. But if we really listen to that still inner voice, that inner Sophia, the Holy Spirit, your subconscious, and really get fucking real with our desires and repeat those desires in our mind or out loud, then that is what Sophia can give back to us, because we will accept it. If we are, say that I want to manifest, having $10 million, okay? I want to manifest having $10 million. I have to think in alignment with that, because it doesn't matter how many different ways Sophia can deliver the $10 million to us, to me. If I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so broke. Oh my God, I'm not going to make money. Oh my God, any money that I have just leaks and falls away. Oh my God, I'm broke. I'm poor, la la la. Then even if that $10 million was sitting right there, I wouldn't be able to receive it, because I'm not in the reality where I'm thinking and believing and in alignment with, I have $10 million. Oh my God, I have $10 million. Like that, you have to think the thoughts that you would actually think were you to have the thing, because that is you joining her dance. That is you taking agency as a human being in her experiment and saying, yes, I absolutely want to be a part of this. And I'm going to speak to that. I'm going to think to that. And I'm going to let you, Sophia, Gaia, Sophia, planet Earth, I'm going to let you fill in the blanks. I'm going to let you deliver it in an incredible way. And this is why people always say you have to drop the how. You absolutely have to drop the how. It is not up to your puny little human mind to think about how. I shouldn't say it like that, but it's true. Like, you don't know all of the magic that can happen in your life, because you're not privy to all of it. Thank God, because your mind would explode. Your mind would fucking explode. And Sophia's got it. She is keeping us alive in every single moment now as our planet Earth, and again as our subconscious, and is the one that is inside us working on every bodily function that needs to happen without your conscious awareness. Like, I think she can handle it. She can handle it, and she will handle it if you get to a place where you can accept it. And that is the law of assumption part, where you do have to decide what you want. You can't just, and I guess that's not completely true. You can decide to want to have a better life. And, your main affirmation that you're repeating in your head all the time is, my life is so wonderful. Everything always turns out better than expected. Everything always turns out better than expected is my favorite. I use it all the time. I've used it in dire situations and it's fucking worked every single time. Everything always turns out better than expected. Everything in my life always turns out better than expected. But you can get specific, obviously. Like, it's better to get specific, but not like too specific that you're trying to micromanage. You do not need to micromanage the universe. The universe is Sophia. You don't need to micromanage her. She knows what she's doing, and she knows what you want. It's just, you need to convince your conscious mind that you can have it, because that's the free will that she gave everybody, is that, like, you can choose whatever you want, but you can also choose to feel shitty and not actually experience what you want. That's a choice. Yes, she requires a radical agency from us to control our thoughts. That is why the demiurge and the archons, Satan if you want to call him, but the force that's in opposition to humanity's thriving wants our brain to be full of nonsense all the time, so that we're not thinking clearly and choosing the thoughts that are for our best interest. the, the interference that we get is, oh my God, I'm not good enough, or oh my God, something's going to go wrong, or, I'm going to die, all my loved ones are going to die, like all this stuff can go in your head, and that is anxiety, that is depression, that is mental disorder. And you don't have to think like that. You really don't. I'm not saying of the extreme circumstances. Obviously, people need medical help sometimes to rebalance their brain chemicals. However, if you're just having an anxious thought because you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be late, or oh my God, something's going to go wrong, stop thinking like that. Like, literally stop giving that information to Sophia to print out, because she prints exactly what we think about to show us how much agency she gave us. She's kind of showing off, actually. She's kind of showing off a bit. She's like, you humans can do so much that I'm going to give you exactly what you're thinking about all the time. Like, scary, right? Scary. And it's a radical agency from us, where we have to choose thoughts that are in alignment not only with planet Earth, which, if you follow your true desires, those are going to be in alignment with planet Earth. It's just natural. That they're in alignment with what your body is telling you. If you can't hear what your body is telling you, then you need to do the energy clearing. You need to do, physically probably work out. You need to go for a walk. You need to sit by a tree. That's your prescription if you can't hear what your body is telling you, okay? Now, this is not just me manifesting like this and saying, I'm the first person to ever use Sophia as my manifestation deliverer, let's call her. But King Solomon did it too. He did. And he manifested exactly like that. It's all wisdom of Solomon, but wisdom is Sophia. Wisdom is Sophia, okay? So this is exactly how King Solomon manifested. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1, wisdom, Sophia, reacheth, all this old English, reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doth she order all things. She can fucking figure it out. In verse 18, it is a great pleasure to have her, Sophia's friendship, and in the works of her hands are infinite riches, and in the exercise of conference with her, so literally internal dialogue, prudence, and in talking with her a good report, I went about seeking how to take her to me. So he essentially was like, okay, Sophia, she is the reason why he has all his riches and is so powerful. You can go on and read the whole book. It's pretty cool. And he really does admit that him working with Sophia, aka Wisdom, not only is she a deeply feminine real figure, but she's the reason why he has his riches and command over city and his cities and power. You think he's just making that up? No, he's not. So when we impress our subconscious with what we really want to experience in life, we are in direct communication with Sophia, our inner Sophia, the Holy Spirit, who sweetly orders all things. That is also a really good affirmation. Sophia sweetly orders all things in my life. And just let her do it. Just let her do it. And you literally have to take your hands off the wheel, and the things that you will be brought to do, you will just have the urge to do them at a certain time. It might even be just literally going for a walk. It might be you suddenly are like, okay, I'm going to build my website. Right now I have the inspiration to do that. Or I'm going to sit down and do a video. Or I'm going to take a bath. Or I'm going to do this ritual. Those things are all meaningful because our reality is malleable. Because every time we do something, we are directly influencing and changing Sophia's dream. Again, that's something you're going to have to watch my other videos where essentially I describe from Mr. JLL that not only is the goddess here as planet Earth, but we're in her dreaming mind. And that's why reality is malleable. That's why we have so much agency, and even sometimes too much agency, where we have to choose too many different things. But if we just pick, literally, this is my challenge to you, to anybody watching this video. Choose one blanket affirmation and do your best to repeat it every day for the next week, and let me know what happens. So you can use everything always turns out better than expected. Sophia sweetly orders all things in my life, or you can get more specific with, you know, I have $10 million in my bank account. I have $10 million in my bank account. I have $10 million in my bank account. And, you know, and this is one that I've done, and actually successfully, is I receive at least $1,000 every single day. Like, that's one from Sammy Ingram, and it's, I even had a dream that I was saying it to Ruben, my fiance. Like, anyways, pick one and just ride it for a week. And it's okay. So when people are saying repeating affirmations, you can be repeating them in your head as often as you can, as often as you think about them. And then also what I like to do is take some time, you know, you can set a timer for 15 minutes or whatever, and just repeat it in your head, or repeat it out loud, or write it down, or, you know, do whatever manifestation technique you want to do. I also have a blog post up that is based on it's about different manifestation techniques based on your personal learning style, because not everybody, like, this is a thing too about manifesting, where people are like, oh my God, this worked for me, it's gonna work for you, la la la. But one, if you don't know the mechanics of behind, that could be stopping you. It might not be, but it was stopping me. You might not care. You might not be somebody that even thinks about that. But for me, I was like, I need to know why to really get deeper with what I want. And I've manifested without knowing why. Okay. You know, you can manifest both ways, but I do find that that has helped me a lot. The way that one person manifests might work for them because it's how they do everything. Like, if you're a visual person, then you can visualize, you can do well with that, and images work well for you. But you might not be a visual person, and maybe you can't visualize. It doesn't mean you can't manifest. You just have to choose a different way that works for you. So check out my blog if you want to see more about that. It is really deep inner work, being able to communicate with your inner Sophia, your inner wisdom, because there's often a lot of junk in the way. This is why for the past couple weeks I've been doing a lot of energy work, and I think it was probably just residual from those eclipses. They fucking hit me like a truck, man, like crazy. And even that video I took was just after the lunar eclipse, and I looked so fucking tired. Anyways, there's going to be times where you need to do a lot of energy work to reach your subconscious, because there may be a lot of junk on top of it. There might be a lot of junk of unworthiness or past memories or emotional charges that you have to not only reduce, but do your best to get around, because they often don't move or get out of the way until you do something about them. And, you know, everybody wants it to be magical and happy, and you can just bypass all this stuff, but it takes work. It takes work of choosing the thoughts that are in alignment with what you want to experience, okay? Because if you're thinking that you're not worthy, and that's been your dominant thought for so long, you can bypass it by completely replacing it, but it might be really hard for you to replace it. And if you start to replace it, like that memory, that pain point of why you didn't believe it in the first place is probably going to come up. And that is why the energy work as assistance is so important, because it helps move that without you actually needing to really deep dive into why that's there. But like, for example, you know, you might have some sort of energetic blockage that's in your solar plexus chakra, this kind of like static to be cleared. And you can visualize it being gone. You can visualize it as a lighter color. You can visualize it as yellow, gold, white. And you might have that memory kind of come to the surface of why you didn't believe a certain thing, or why you don't have confidence, or why you lack discipline, things like that. And that memory can come up, And then you can just be like, okay, it happened. It's not my reality now. I am choosing to experience this instead. For example, if you have this really deep lack of confidence because you were bullied when you were a kid, you can let that memory come up and be like, okay, I'm not around those same people. I don't even know who those fucking people are anymore. And for the most part, like, the high school bullies probably aren't doing well. I don't want to say that for everybody, but like, anyways, you can just keep thinking, okay, that's not my reality anymore. I'm going to choose that I am confident, that I am that fucking bitch, that I shine and I light up every room that I enter. Okay, it takes some self-talk. It takes some work if you've been so ingrained in thinking the opposite of what you want for so long. That's where the work is. And it literally is discipline. It's literally like you have such agency as a human being that you need to be feeding your subconscious, your inner Sophia, exactly what you want, because she will give you whatever you're thinking. You are that powerful. You are that important. Don't take that lightly. Don't. So once you establish this connection with your inner Sophia, your subconscious, that which orders all things, your inner subconscious, your inner Sophia is going to talk back to you. It's a two-way street. She's going to provide you with nudges in the right direction. Okay, and like I said, those nudges may just be, go take a fucking shower. Or they may be, you need to declutter. You need to refresh this over here. You need to refresh your altar. You need to put this in your plant. You need to go for a walk and sit beside this tree. Okay? And then this is your inner wisdom, your subconscious, syncing up with your outer Sophia, which is Gaia, which is conscious reality that we're experiencing in every single moment. She always gets your memo, whatever you're thinking, but you're not always ready to accept it if your brain cannot support your body receiving it. So that is why EFT tapping is really helpful, because it's literally telling your nervous system that it's okay to have these things that you want. And like I said before, if you're working on manifesting $10 million, but you don't believe that you can have it, and that's what you're thinking all the time, then it's just not going to make it to your reality. You're not going to be able to hold it. And even if by the grace of the goddess you got $10 million, you would be so anxious. You would freak the fuck out. So it's about thinking about those thoughts that you would have. Would you have the thing that you wanted? So, and I was even thinking about this just based on the stuff that I have really manifested. Okay, I haven't manifested $10 million. I'll admit it, I'm working on it. But I have manifested over $1,000 every single day from when I wanted to, from when I started and actually took that affirmation. And I've also manifested my relationship. And the relationship thing was a big one for me. Obviously, it was really all I've ever wanted. And I think now the thoughts that I was preparing before, like now I do regularly think, oh my God, I'm so in love. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that I'm in this relationship. It's so wonderful to be able to sit in the morning and have coffee with him. And it's so wonderful to be so attracted to each other. All these things, like those were all on my list of manifesting my, I call it soul part. I don't remember what I called it, but partner, life partner or something. And then I was like, wait, yeah, like to manifest, say for example, $10 million, you are going to be thinking the thoughts that are your now affirmations. So like, oh my God, it feels so good to have $10 million in the bank. It feels so good that my $10 million is spread out on different offshore accounts, that I have little security nests everywhere of money, and, you know, they're making interest for me, and all those things that are actually real when you have $10 million is you're probably investing it in certain things. You probably have a couple offshore accounts and you're feeling good because you know that the money is there. You can trust it. Say, even if you manifested it, you can be like, oh my God, I'm such a powerful manifester. Like, I've already done this, you know? And thinking from that place is what allows the outer Sophia, or the conscious, or the Gaia, Earth, this reality, to then bring it to you in a way that's going to be better than you expect, in a way that you cannot plan for. This is literally the key too. Like I said before, your human mind is not equipped to fandangle the how out of all these magical things that you want to experience. It's not what your brain was built to do. Your brain was built to observe the reality you want to experience. That's observer effect. That was given to us by our mother and father Aeon. That is how they designed our species to play and to creatively imagine. You know, the Aeons, these deities that created us, they creatively imagine. We have a small little itty bit of that power, and it is a wonderful thing to play with. Now and that's why we can manifest such shit in our lives, because it's what our dominant thoughts are, is what we feed to our Sophia printer, and it's what our Sophia printer prints in reality as Gaia and gives it back to us. So we want to be telling her what we actually want to experience, not what we don't want, because she hears everything. And we have that much agency, and she is showing us that we have that much fucking agency that we can even manifest what we don't want. And she is trying so hard by reaching each one of us, by teaching us what we need to know, the different rituals that we can do, and the different energy clearings we need to do, so that we can get so clear that in our mind, it's like, yeah, duh, I've manifested before. Now I have that manifestation and I'm thinking like this, which is how I thought before I manifested. Like for me, the relationship is the best example of, I would always think, not always, but like a lot of the time, and how I consciously wanted to manifest was, we're so attracted to each other. We love going out and getting food. We both love Thai food. Our families love each other, or like, they love me and my family loves him, things like that, because our families actually haven't met. He's from Mexico, but I was thinking all those things and assuming that it would just come to fruition because I decided that, and then it did. And then I still have these thoughts now where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy that his family loves me. And I'm so happy that my family loves him. Like, those were literally on my list. So for whatever you want to manifest, especially if it's, a new job, or right, like say you have a job now that you've wanted for so long, like you're going to be thinking, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I have this job. So grateful that I have this job, right? So in order to actually experience that, is you have to preempt it all, because you have so much agency as a beautiful human being. Because we have been over-endowed as humans, because maybe Sophia and Thelete, the mother, father, Aeon, maybe they gave us too much power. Okay, that is why they're assisting us. That is why they're working with us to help us heal jealousy, to help us heal fear, to help us heal anxiety and depression. Experiences that we're not meant to have, that we're not meant to thrive in, because there is this other being working against humanity. That's why it's so important to know about the demiurge, so important to know that there is something that's working against humanity's best interest. But because humans have such agency, he can hijack that and get us to live in anxiety. But Sophia is like, wait. Like, you don't have to do that. Feed me something good to the printer so that she can give us that in reality. And she does. She literally does. I've been doing it very recently with the receiving over $1,000 a day. It does work. And it's when you make that assumption, which is, you know, law of assumption, you can eat that content up, and then you understand that you are so supported by our planet, by the goddess in every single moment, that it becomes, oh yeah, like, wait, I can actually do this because it's not me doing the how. It's not me doing the rearranging. It's not me actually, you know, telling this person that they can send me the money, or that this customer is going to order this, that, and the other thing. Like, I'm not the one doing that. I'm the one choosing my reality and then accepting it. Okay. And it's, you know, it's just how it is. It is how manifestation works. And the reason why manifestation works is because we are in a dream. We are in the dreaming mind of the goddess. And when you are truly living with the goddess, she is going to teach you in a way that is so meaningful to you. And she is going to show you what you need to do specifically in order to get what you want and live your desires. That is why the number one step, if you cannot think in your favor, is to literally go sit by a tree and ask nature, ask Gaia what she wants you to understand in this moment, or how she can bring more beauty in your life in this moment. Like, let's make something beautiful happen. And she is the gateway to all of that and even more. So if you're looking to combine spirituality of this earth with the law of assumption, then here you go. That's what this whole video is about. And that is how living with the goddess really shows up. She helps us transcend whatever is in the way for us living our true desires. And some of them takes more freaking work than other things do. And she is there to do the heavy lifting. She is there to guide us. She is there to bring us to certain, even certain content creators that are saying the message in the way that we're going to understand. She's magic, baby. She's going to use every resource that there is. She transcends everything. She can be online. Like, she's got it all, you know? This is her dream, baby. And we are living in it. And what a wonderful thing to be a part of it. It is fabulous. It is incredible. If you're looking for more of this, make sure you subscribe. If you are looking for one-on-one assistance, you can send me an email and I can let you know about my coaching offers. I also have my book linked down below. And anything else, leave me a comment. If you would like to know a certain part of any of this or something else is tickling your fancy, leave me a comment and I will consider it for, you know, the next sermon or another video, because I would love to be more interactive here and help in any way that I can. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao.